I want you to get together.
But how do you think, like, are the Nephilim here among us in the physical realm? Are they influencing us from a different spiritual realm? Like, how do you think, like, where exactly do you think the current Nephilim reside? And what do you think they're actually doing to us?
Yeah, so the disembodied spirits of the original Nephilim are here on Earth with us. We just can't perceive them. They're in the what we call the astral realm, or the
Yep.
the fractal matrix. Or there's many names for this place. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Whatever group you come from, who's labeled it, whatever you want to call it. I assert the demons, the jesters you see when you take dimethyltryptamine, who are in the DMT realm, which is the same
yeah.
place, are the disembodied spirits of the dead Nephilim. That's where they are.
Mhm.
That's where they reside. There may be some humans alive today that have Nephilim DNA within them in very small amounts who have put themselves into positions of power and perhaps are in some way better channels for these demons in these other realms. But the original half angel, half human demonic entities, which is what they are, they're now called demons. That's what they're called now, but in our culture's
Mhm.
terms. But what they used to be were Nephilim giants. They're in this realm, this just here on Earth with us. They're not separate from us in any way. I don't think the DMT realm is separate from Earth. I think it's a part of Earth. I think it's necessary for Earth to exist as we perceive it. I think it's like the plumbing behind the scenes of the projection of the
Yep.
thing we live in currently. It's the coding that makes this thing happen. It's a lesser place. In fact, it's a place where there are no embodied forms. We live in the place where we can the spirit can be embodied. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think the body and the soul are separate. I think
Yep.
I think I am a living soul with a body, and my body is a
Okay.
part of the soul structure, and I also am filled with the
Mm.
spirit, the Holy Spirit of God. There's
Mhm.
many ways. It's complicated. It can get complicated. It's best not to
Yeah,
delve
yeah,
too much into all that. But
yeah.
the spirit realm, people go there thinking it's a special, more advanced, unique place compared to where we are, and we're in the lesser realm, and they're in the higher realms. Could not be further from the truth. That's the lie. They are lying to you. Demons lie.
You think it's the opposite?
It's the
Yeah.
opposite. They are in a lesser place. The prize is here, where we are, and our body. And this is where possession
Mm.
comes into the situation. This is the whole point of demonic possession. They want a body. They are craving to satisfy their urges and desires, their fleshly desires, but they don't have a mouth, eyes, a nose, ears, or fingertips. They can't experience pleasures of flesh. They cannot. They don't have a body. So they do it vicariously through us. They embody our body, they inhabit it if we let them in, if we leave ourselves open. And the
Yeah.
best case scenario for a demon is for you not to know
Yeah.
you have a demon in you. So they tend to stay hidden, you know. And once you cast them out, they end up back in this horrible place where they hunger and thirst but can't satisfy those urges. So that's why they use you. They live vicariously through your senses if you allow them in. And once you're filled with the
Mm.
Holy Spirit, there's no room for them. That's the point of being saved. It's to stop yourself from being under the whim and desires and motions of these creatures, these parasites that will use your body for
Yeah.
their own pleasures and purposes. And the more you
Yeah.
give over to them, the more control you let them have. If you know you have demons and let it happen, then all hell will break loose in your life because you're just allowing them to take control of your vessel and you'll be fully controlled by them. You might even black out and not even remember what you've done. In extreme cases, this is probably where these murderers come from who say the demons made me do it. And they don't remember killing people. Like, this is the point. Like, these things were bloodthirsty, murderous, cannibalistic monsters when they were around. They're not your friend. But they will say anything. They will lie to you once you're in that DMT realm for you to let them in. They will tell you we're ascended masters from the fifth dimension, or we're time travelers who have just evolved beyond your comprehension of humanity, or something. Or they'll say anything. They'll say anything
Yeah.
to you. Oh, we're just reflections of yourself. We're collective Jungian archetypes of the collective unconscious, and we're just here to let you know that you don't need to take life too seriously, man. Now let me possess you. Lol. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? They're just
So do you?
the real entities with real personalities who existed once in physical form, and that's where they are.
Disembodied spirits.
That's
Yeah.
what's going on. Yeah.
Do you think they're the only game in town? Like when you hear about David Icke and the reptilians and shape shifting. Do you take that as real, and do you think that's Nephilim as well? The whole alien situation broadly. I've spoken to a lot of people, and I'm pretty convinced that they believe they were abducted by
Yeah.
aliens, and then so I'd be curious to get your thoughts on that. Is it all just a Nephilim game, all of this stuff, or do you think there's other party people in the party?
I've heard all the same testimonies you've heard throughout my years in the conspiracy world, and something's happening, isn't it? People are encountering strange cryptid-like creatures and what they call alien greys, or the tall greys, or the whatever you want, the Palladians. There's many variations of it. The reptilians from underground or whatever. Yeah, something's going on. People are having physical encounters with weird hybrid creatures. Absolutely, that's also happening as well. They're not the only game in town. I've seemed to find the way I can square this with biblical history is there was a period of time where humanity corrupted their own DNA by hybridizing themselves with animals. So you get dogmen, werewolves, mermaids, sirens, centaurs, half human, half whatever. There was a time where humanity did that to themselves just before and after the flood. There's evidence for both. I mean, it says that Nimrod, for example, became a mighty man. He became a Gibborim. A Gibborim is a title for a mighty warrior or a mighty man that was often associated with the giants. So when in the context of that verse, it's saying Nimrod, who was a human from the lineage of, I think it was through Cush, through Ham to Noah, he basically did something to himself to become a Nephilim, to Nephilimify himself. But they're not real Nephilim. That's my phrase. Nephilimify yourself. Yeah. But the thing is, they're not a trademark. I coined that term. So the thing is, they're not really the faux Nephilim, the false, the humans who have just messed themselves up. They're not half. Okay. They're not half angel, half human. They're not really Nephilim. They're just corrupt vessels who have utterly just destroyed the image of God through their own conscious decision and choice. They made the choice to do that to themselves. So I think in many respects, it's possible when they died, they were also stuck here on earth because the body and the soul are not separate. To corrupt the body in such a way, maybe to corrupt the soul in a way that makes it no longer compatible with leaving the earth. So it's possible a lot of these disembodied demons aren't just Nephilim, they are humans who also did this to themselves, who were also,
I've heard you. Yeah,
I'm just speculating based on the histories, and it answers a lot of questions. I say it answers a lot of ideas and questions, but it also explains where cryptids come from, the cryptid phenomena. It's just the remnants that survived of these hybridized monsters, basically. And you get werewolves, skinwalkers, reptilian men. Now, these reptilian men sound to me like human beings who mix themselves with snakes and lizards. Not Nephilim, not hybrids between fiery flying serpents and human women, but humans who mutated themselves. Just like the bad guy from Spider-Man, who wanted to regrow his arm, so he mixed himself with lizard DNA and became a lizard man. But his arm grew back. But the consequence was he had nothing but evil in his heart continuously, and he wanted to destroy everything. And he became So I think a lot of that kind of stuff was happening a very long time ago, and we see these monsters today. Mothman, anything that's like a human animal hybrid is a result of this genetic engineering, this manipulation that's explained clearly in Jasher, in Enoch, in all these extra biblical texts. Yeah.
Okay. So do you...
I want you to get together